we all know that buying books and reading books are two different hobbies. And actually, I'm not the worst offender in this. I actually go through my book collection and I get rid of books I don't like anymore. I bought thinking I will love them and I will want to read them, but I don't longer want to read them. But I have 15 books that are older than 2 years old in my collection, and some of them were on my TBR even longer, and I still haven't read them. And I don't want to get rid of them because I do still want to read them. And we will start from the worst offender, The Picture of Dorian Gray. Yes, this is a very beautiful edition, very special, but I wanted to read it in high school. We were reading it, and I didn't have time to finish it. I don't remember whether I started and haven't finished, or I read all the analysis and discussion, so I knew I will like it, but I have not read it. But at the time, it just like falls through my hands, and like I know I will like it. Because I read enough and watched enough analysis of this book to know it's amazing and I will like it. But I still haven't read it. This is actually third book, third edition of this book I own. First I bought Penguin Classic, The Picture of Dorian Gray. Then I learned there is uncensored version. And the reason I was postponing reading because I wasn't sure which one should I start with. Should I start with what everyone reads to understand better like how people perceive it, and then read uncensored and compare? Or should I start uncensored to better know what author meant? And then I found this, which has both censored and uncensored. So like parts that were changed or removed are like shown that you can see that this was removed or changed, which is perfect, but I still haven't read it. First of all, I think I'm waiting, it's a bad idea, but I'm waiting for September for Dark Academia vibes, which I should not do, but I don't know why I have not read it. I'm really excited to read it. And next one, continuing on classics, Jane Austen, Northanger, Abbey. I read Emma, I read Prejudice. I loved both of them in the different degrees. I wanted to read something else. However, I don't remember why I chose this. I remember that I was watching either TikToks or YouTubes or some analysis or like description, and I'm like, yeah, this sounds very interesting. I don't remember what it's about. I remember Sense and Sensibility, which by the way I don't own, but I do remember description and why I would like to read that. This one, I mean, reading description, I don't remember. The only attractive thing is Gothic romance. I love Gothic romance, so I assume the description involved something like that, which made me attracted to the story. I have no idea what's about. And to be honest, I don't know why I'm intimidated. It's not that long. But not right now. Next one, I think we will continue with classics. The Godfather. The reason I even got interested in this is hilarious because I was watching Korean drama Vincenzo and one of the characters is like mafiosi. However, it's like it's more aesthetic wise, like it's not about mafia at all. However, I really liked it and I wanted something like that, and I'm like, what is the most famous mafia book? The Godfather. And description sounds fun. Well, it's actually very sad, blackmailer, racketeer, murderer, but fun to read. But at no point in last 2 or 3 years was I like, yes, it's time to read Godfather. I think it's partially because I'm not sure, do I want to read it in certain season? Will I be sad? And also it's a bit intimidated, but like I don't know what vibe I'm going for. And yeah, I'm definitely reading it at some point. Also another reason, those movies that are almost like a joke because man, like you haven't watched this movie and it's like American Psycho and Godfather, and then you realize that they don't actually understand the themes of the movies, and it's part of toxic masculinity cult. Yeah, this is not the book, the movie, very famous in those circles. So I'm like, is it really like maybe misogynistic, toxic masculinity, or it's just like on internet. Hopefully you know what I mean, because I'm not sure how to explain it. Then let's go for my 3 non-fiction books let's start from least interesting for me, How Not to Be Wrong. If I have these non-fiction books, they often should have been an article. It's definitely money grab. Second of all, authors often disregard individual circumstances. They write like it's a good thing, like it's a good idea what they write about, but it's not useful for everyone, and yet they often shame you in the book for not even trying. Like, if it doesn't work for you, you haven't tried enough. You know, those like a bit looking down on reader. And another thing is, it's second book by the author, and first was How to Be Right. I haven't read it, but you know, if they have second book that sounds kind of like the first, there is a high chance it's a money grab and it's just not that good. But I wanted to read it because I felt like we are really attached to our opinions and what we believe is true, even if it's not really based on anything substantial. We heard it somewhere, it seems right based on our knowledge of the world, and we are really not willing to change our mind. And I was very interested to read about that and maybe like analyze myself. So I'm not that emotionally attached to this book, but sounds interesting. Second, I'm still really excited to read Is It Really Green? I really care about environment. I want to be more sustainable, but first of all, it seems when you try to get into this topic, everything is poison. And like plastic bad for environment, but glass is more energy intensive, but everything is bad. And you're like, well, I would rather not do anything. I still want to do stuff. And this book has basically, how can I stop microplastic from my clothes getting in the sea? How often should I wash my clothes? How do I know if my makeup is eco-friendly? How can I find out about the provenance of my food? Can I eat fish without damaging the planet? And it's like very short articles. Or, for example, is vegan diet always better for the environment? Can I eat dairy and eggs and still be green? So this is what I need. This is what I want. I think I needed to slightly reduce anxiousness and confusion around the topics when I try to do something, but it's very confusing and I don't do anything. But also, I don't know what, I think it just, reading non-fiction feels a bit like reading for school or textbook. So it feels a bit less like a hobby and a bit more like a job, even though it's really enjoyable. So I think that's just psychological issue in me. And the next one is Gender Fluid. Spoiler alert, yes. And it's really like fun book with, I'm losing my bookmark. With a lot of pictures, and it basically talks about history and how gender was perceived in different ages in different countries. For example, random page, UNICEF points out the ways in which gender socialization and gender stereotypes in many parts of the world place greater importance on the birth of a boy, children and of a girls, positioning boys as more valuable. According to UNICEF, this leads to girls facing discrimination, social and healthcare, as well as in education. Understanding of gender and sexuality continue to be intertwined, and sexuality is still connected to gender in many contemporary understanding. Which is true. There are some graphs. So this is really fun to read, and why I'm not reading it, no one knows. Another series of books, I have no idea why I have not read them. Terry Pratchett. I read fully his he has a huge series of books set in a disco world. Absolutely recommend. And within it there are sub-series and individual books. I read Death sub-series. I'm still reading Witches sub-series, and this is like first book in the world and standalone. It's short. I know I will love it. Why I haven't read it, I have no idea. There is no explanation to this. Kiki's Delivery Service. After I read Howl's Moving Castle book, again, Ghibli movies, I loved it. I learned that Kiki's Delivery Service is also based on a book. I love Kiki's Delivery Service. It's short, it's children's book, so it's like huge font. Why I haven't read it also have no idea. Monkey Kings. It's a translation of Journey to the West. It's Chinese folklore story. I watched few movies or TV series where like Monkey King is mentioned, so it's adventurous. It's new for me genre of folklore or Chinese folklore as a book. So I know I kind of will like it, and I read few like random tidbits from it. It's adventure basically. However, a reason I'm not reading it is before that I bought some other, I don't even remember the name, also a book based on folklore, Chinese folklore. And I was like, great, it will be like my entry into this genre. And then I learned that the real story is humongous. It's like really, really long. And the book was about this thick. And they just cut out whole parts of it, whole characters, arcs, etc. So it can be sold as one book. And they even it was very liberal translation, if you can say. So I never even read that, but I'm a bit afraid that it's also very liberal translation. And I feel like I want to read authentic story. But yeah, I'm reading a lot of Danmei recently. It's modern Chinese novels. And I'm enjoying, and from few tidbits I read from this, it's not like complex language. Last time we met countered Monkey, he swore to heaven that he never wanted to see me again. Just now he said Sandy and I were useless and told me to fetch you back, light Pixie. By the way, names are hilarious. Monkey changed the subject. Let me show you around, Pixie. Ignoring Pixie's protestations, the time was getting on and they really needed to go back. Monkey led him by the hand around the beautiful mountains, forests and gates of flower fruit. I don't know. Ghosts scream and throw bricks outside my window. I can just about get through the day, but the nights are unbearable. So it seems also fun. Why I haven't read it, also no one knows. This was on my TBR for so long. I had this Japanese period where I was really into Japanese literature. I discovered it exists. People started translating it because before that I think it wasn't really popular, and then it was translated left and right. And I wasn't buying it for myself, but it was on my wish list, and I was giving it Secret Santa, I want to say, and it's collection of short stories, Japanese short stories. And issue I have is that I'm not sure how to read short stories because it feels like bajillion of small books. You never know what you're getting into the next one. They're sometimes so disconnected that I'm not switching my mood fast enough, and I know I want to read it maybe less than some of the previous contenders, but I haven't get rid of it because I still want to read it. Continuing on Japanese, All the Lovers at the Night. My relationship with Japanese stories is that they are very calm. I like that. I do not feel stressed reading them. But also, I do not feel excited it's the best book that happened to me. So I think that's the reasoning the bills falls through for me. I haven't read it yet, but falls through when I'm deciding what to read next, because often there is something more exciting. This one is about lonely woman in her 30s. She's freelance proofreader in her living alone, unable to form meaningless relationships. It's very hard in our world. When she sees her reflection, she's confronted with a tired and spiritless woman who has failed to take control of her life, her own one source of solace, light. And I think it's very calm. It's on the topics I'm interested in, but because it's calm, I don't have this excitement to read it, and also because some of the other stories I read by Japanese authors, I feel disgusted in a good way. So they portrayed the ugliness of the world or something like that in very bright way. However, it's not the emotion I enjoy feeling. So I'm not entirely sure what I'm getting here. I read first chapter, so I will probably read it by the end of the year. Maybe if I will fall through my reading goals and I need to catch up. But I don't feel especially strongly connected to this book, but it sounds fun to read and I own it, so I will read it. Continuing on Japanese. I have no idea why I haven't read that. I love detectives. It's short. It's Japanese. I love Japanese TV series, Japanese detective TV series. They a bit simple. They have often a bit exaggerated, like not super realistic in a certain aspect. They will have almost, I don't know how to explain, like there will be a virus that affects only these people, but most of them are a bit Agatha Christie style. There is very clear inspiration there, so I love it. Even when it's bad detective, I still enjoy reading them. Why I haven't read it, I have no idea. And the last of my Japanese this big book. This at least I know why I'm not reading it, because I'm in the middle of The Count of Monte Cristo, and another big boy. I'm a bit intimidated, and I'm also in like bajillion of book clubs, so I'm just a bit overwhelmed with other things, but it's really interesting concept. This is set years leading up to Second World War. Four sisters live in Osaka and Ashaya. Each navigate their own complex personal relationship with a fading luster of the Makioka family name, rich with breathtaking description of ancient customs and ever-changing natural world. Author evokes in loving detail a long-lost way of life, even as it withers under the harsh glare of modernity. By the way, so I read first chapter, and it has a bit of a drama style. Like one sister is not married, and everyone tries to set her up because it's the age when not married women. Others are like married, but they have their own drama. And the fact that it's set in Japan when those more like cultural customs were still present, but already modernity is creeping in, is also a very interesting setting. The book itself is breathtaking. So yeah, this is just a bit. I have too much on my table. Okay, and we are not finishing that exciting. The Joy Luck Club. Yes, I voted for the power. And to be honest, there are three things, if they are mentioned in the book or the title, I'm like 20% more likely to buy a book. Cats, tea, and table games like chess, mahjong, or go. This one is about immigrant Chinese women in 1949 to San Francisco. They play mahjong and remember past, gossip, and the night. So sounds fun. I'm just a bit afraid. I'm pretty sure it will be a bit sad. They will discuss their loss, because I think that's what they say. Emiton examines the sometimes painful, often tender memories that reveal this woman's strength, worth, and determination. So what stops me, besides that it's like not one of those things that like excites me, is the fact that it probably will be sad in parts. And I feel like I torture myself when I decide to make myself sad. But still, it seems fun. If you know anything, tell me. And last two are less reading books and more studying books. So when I want to say in Vienna, but maybe I was in Munich. I had two trips, one by myself, one with my brother. Yeah, I think it was Vienna. I don't remember which was which. As I have really similar architecture, and in my head they just smooshed into one trip. And at one where I was by myself, I wanted to have some souvenirs from the trip, but I didn't want to go for like stuff I will not use. So I went to a bookstore, and they have these sales of like books they were almost giving away. I think it costed like €3. And I found this book. I at the time was learning German in a school, and I then stopped reading for some time, and that's one of the reasons I haven't continued. I started learning German again, but I was like, great, I will be able to read it eventually, plus this is book. Reasons I bought it. Author has PhD in mathematics. I was studying applied mathematics in university. It's called Der Tod ist ein Philosoph, meaning Das is a philosopher. And I like when death is personified. And actually, I think read I read 2 pages, and I put some translations. So it was something about a guy is going on a motorcycle, and I think he dies. So I haven't read this book, but I love it with all my heart. And this one, it's like bonus book. I bought it again for learning German. It's about Fräulein, woman, and her jewelry stolen, I think. I read like 1 page, and I definitely will return, but it wasn't supposed to be like book. It was more like a study book. So that's my slightly shameful collection of books I am avoiding reading. I'm not ashamed, really. But for some of them I was surprised why I have not read them, because they sound amazing. Like, there are no reason not to read them. So, do you have your own table collection? Do you know anything about any of these books? Tell me. Maybe I need more motivation to start reading them.